virus has completely devastated over 150 of the world's major regions and is spreading rapidly. At this point in time, we know of only one method of killing the creatures: destroy the brain. Be on the guard of any loved ones who may have recently been in any sort of contact with the infected. And if you find yourself in a threatened position, please do not hesitate to act. Again, this is not a test. This is not a joke. We as a species are overwhelmed. We are outnumbered.
With University News. Breaking news. We are receiving reports that a cannibalistic attack is happening in downtown Miami right now. Currently, the zombie man, whose identity is still being withheld, is attacking another homeless man after biting parts of his flesh, eyes, and nose off.
After parts of his flesh, nose, ears, and eyes.
Currently, talking to locals, they said that the attacker slept by a nearby overpass. When the police arrived at the scene, they shot the crazed attacker repeatedly.
Was shot repeatedly and killed by the police officers after...
When the attacker was ordered to stop, he growled back at police and continued his savage attack. We're receiving live that this man is actually Rudy Eugene, who had been arrested before and had multiple run-ins with the police concerning possession for multiple drugs such as cocaine, LSD, heroin, and meth, as well as other violent crimes. Eugene's wife stated that he did have violent tendencies where on occasion she feared for her life.
His wife stated that he did have violent tendencies and on occasion she feared for her life,
which led to their divorce 5 years ago. Eugene's uncle stated that he was a nice man who would help out at local car dealerships washing cars. It is currently unknown whether the attacker and the homeless man knew each other. It is more likely that this was a random attack due to hallucinogenics and aggressive behavior, which was caused by the catalytic drug called bath salts.
It is more likely a random attack due to hallucinations and aggressive behavior that could occur when the category of drugs called bath salts is used.
The components of bath salts were legalized until October 2010 when the DEA had put a temporary ban on it.
This is Channel 420 Kim Chronic reporting. Today on the news we have a story about a naked man that was attacking another naked man in Miami, biting and eating parts of his face. Some are wondering what could be the cause to make someone act like this. It may be a result of something called drug-induced psychosis. Here's Bill with some further information.
Although police are saying they haven't seen much like it, they have seen a few similar cases.
Lead to delirium, which causes them to lose control of their emotions and actions, and they find themselves doing bizarre things. This new form of LSD causes the user to feel very hot on the inside, which causes them to take their clothes off.
And like 3/4 of the man's face was like gone, and the attacker was like literally eating his face.
We're currently reporting on site of this horrific attack where a man who refused to stop chewing on the face of another man. Details about his face are being kept away from the public. However, we know that his face was literally bitten off. Clearly, this man was on some powerful drug, which is found out to be a problem LSD. This new drug turns normal people into monsters and possess their superhuman strength and the ability to feel pain.
Bad boys, what you want, what you gonna do?
From the top of his forehead to almost his jaw. It wasn't just that he was being bit, it's that the person was actually swallowing pieces of his face. When the police approached him, he turned around and growled, and kept attacking the victim on the floor. Initial shots had no effect. The officer had to repeatedly shoot him about 4 times until the man collapsed. I can only imagine, by talking to the officers, that they were totally traumatized. It was just like something out of a horror movie. When they take these bath salts, their body temperature reaches such a high degree that they have to take all their clothes off because they're basically melting from the inside out.
Earlier last week, a homeless man whose face was mostly chewed off in a horrifying attack is making strides for a very long recovery. Doctors in Miami say New York native Ronald Popo is now awake, alert, and even walking. He and Rudy Eugene were naked on a highway overpass back on May 26th. That's when police say Eugene started chewing off Popo's face, and only stopped when officers shot and killed him. Doctors say Popo lost most of his recognizable facial features, including his nose, and was blinded in the attack. Doctors say he was inadvertently shot in the chest when police came to his rescue.
First of all, bath salts have absolutely nothing to do with baths. They're not actual bath salts. It's just the name that they were given. They're amphetamines, which are often one of many different drugs. These are chemicals that people make sometimes in their own homes. They are man-made, homemade kinds of recipes, and they're sold sometimes in even gas stations. It actually used to be legal because they were these new chemicals. Now they're illegal. It's a stimulant. It's kind of like a meth or ecstasy, so several different things go on. They hallucinate or become psychotic, and sometimes they don't feel pain.
For Disease Control was forced to make a statement today regarding the public's recent concern that a zombie apocalypse was imminent. This comes after a media-hyped case and spreading rumors about a drug-influenced man that was eating another man's face. While the crime is gruesome, we the media have to publicly apologize for wasting the time of an important organization like the CDC and scaring the public into believing there were zombies.
My name is Cornell Stein with University News. I am extremely sorry to those people at the CDC who had to put up with the real work to deal with this ridiculous overstatement of the zombie apocalypse. I'm sorry to the public who are misinformed and may have spent money on things like guns, ammo, water, and zombie survival packs. On the bright side, at least it scared and forced people to put money into the economy. We have to just hit our local adopting pets.
I know, it's the O.J. Simpson case all over again. All that straight of front page news and more and Oklahoma City bombings combined, and they claim it's us overdoing it?
Guys, you're still in the air.
For those of you who are still awake, before we begin our next story, please be advised this is a very gruesome story. Good morning, everyone. My name is Rachel Ferry. Our top story this hour of the brutal murder aboard a Greyhound bus in Manitoba. Police have laid charges in the crime that has shocked the nation. It was a horrifying attack that is being described as one of Canada's worst murders. What was supposed to be a routine bus trip from Edmonton to Winnipeg came to an earth-shattering conclusion just 80 kilometers from its final destination. Just 5 hours ago, at around 10 p.m., Vince Lee stabbed 22-year-old Tim McLean. More from the story with Joanne Morris.
Yes, thank you, Rachel. Greyhound Killer states the man he beheaded was really an alien. The accused believed he had been chosen by God to save people from the alien attack. CMP has announced that they have charged 40-year-old Vince Lee from Edmonton with second-degree murder on his case. We now know much more from the victim of this crime, the young man who was stabbed to death and beheaded aboard the Greyhound bus on his way home to Winnipeg. 22-year-old Tim McLean is being remembered as a happy young man with many friends. He was riding at the back of the Greyhound bus, where witnesses say the passenger sitting next to him stabbed him repeatedly, as many as 40 or 50 times. As passengers scrambled to get off the bus, the suspect decapitated the victim. One local criminal lawyer we spoke with believes, given the circumstances of this case, the second-degree murder charge is appropriate.
There are elements of planning and deliberation. It is a much more serious level of offense with a higher punishment. So when you have a situation when it's really much more random, two strangers encounter one another on a bus, and out of events we don't really know in particular, they may have participated. One kills the other, I would expect it to be a second-degree murder.
I think I was one of the first guys to turn around, and I saw him, I said to the bus driver, "Stop the bus, everybody get off."
One to really realize what was going on, I just screamed like, "Stop the bus, someone's getting stabbed, everybody get the hell off."
He was stabbing him. He wasn't even mad or in a rage or anything. He was like a robot stabbing him, and the knife, it was like a Rambo knife.
And but then I saw the guy had a big Rambo knife.